But we see that they allied themselves with the Afghans against the Russians. And also, I would like to add that the U.S. government allied itself with Afghanistan and the Pakistanis against the Russians during this same time, and it caused all sorts of problems, which it is to this day, as we are still in there militarily. President Obama called it the just war, that a war that we should be fighting. And in some areas, I do not disagree with him. But here's some things that went into what making Pakistan what it is today and allowing the Taliban to make inroads into the country. And they are, in October of 2005, a 7.6 magnitude earthquake devastated the country. The numbers were unbelievable, Malala writes. More than 73,000 people were killed and 128,000 injured, and many of them crippled for life. Religious groups, some militant, moved in with aid that proved more dependable than that the government had to offer. And we see many religious groups doing this across the world, and even right now in the Philippines, where the worst storm in recorded history went through and completely tore up that country. And many religious groups are over there helping right now and blessing those people, and I thank them for their participation in that. There are ways to give to the Philippines, and I hope that you do that yourself. So then the mullahs warned that the disaster was a sign that God was not pleased with the Western ways and loosening morals that had crept into their culture. Now, part of the reason why September 11 happened in the United States was because we were absolutely corrupt and our morals were just horrible, and therefore we needed to be killed. And that's why Al-Qaeda launched their attacks against us during that period of time. So this gives you a little bit of background on how they think about us. The earthquake, along with other events, served to make Pakistanis more welcome than they might have been to the Taliban when the Taliban came calling. They kind of snuck in, and they just like they did in Iran after the fall of the Shah, and they soon enforced these dress codes. They put in culture police, and of course, the sending of girls and women indoors and under wraps. So this is part of what they do. And Malala and her father, they resisted these measures and spoke out against them. And again, this is part of the reason why she was shot herself. But she speaks in her book about the murder of a woman who made her living as a dancer. And people used to talk about Shabana's bad character, but our men both wished to see her dance and also despised her because she was a dancer. So here's a little bit of irony. She writes, so people loved to see Shabana dance, but didn't respect her. And when she was murdered, they said nothing. Some even agreed with her killing out of fear of the Taliban or because they were in favor of the Taliban. So we see, murders took place here quite often and quite openly, and nobody was able to do anything because of this absolute religious, police-enforced state or culture. And this can happen anywhere. And I would tell you as Americans, it can happen here if you are not careful that things like this can happen. I don't know if you really realize, but Al Jazeera is publicly on the TV in the United States now, and what they're touting is that there is another side to every story, which gives the Al Jazeera or the Muslim and the Shia law view on what's going on in America. So you might want to pay attention to these things. It's making inroads in the United States, and that's how they have taken over many, many countries, including in the South Pacific, so in Western Pacific. So getting close to the end of my show here. I'd just like to say, that, that with regard to Malala and her story, and it's a great story in the end, in that, probably Pakistani women will be greatly benefited, and children everywhere should be benefited by being able to go to school and learn. I'd just like to draw your attention to the fact that there are evil groups in the world. Evil does exist. If you don't believe me, watch some of the videos on 9/11, and you'll see that very clearly. So as my time for the show winds down, I'd just like to tell you, remember, the power of life and death is in the tongue. Choose life.
Fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American. Fight for my